All right, so let's do this. Quarantine time.
Cheers. Okay.
Chuck and Janet here. I'm your Lancaster real estate agent. And Chuck, about a week ago, you came across this beautiful manual called the Scary Time Success Manual.
By Dan Sullivan.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Dan Sullivan, he wrote many books on marketing. He's basically, direct response marketing. A lot of people go back to Dan Sullivan. Either way, reading through it, it was kind of at the time when, they were saying,
I was so in shock.
Everybody needs to stay at home. You need to shut down your businesses. It was really kind of overwhelming, this whole pandemic thing.
And I'm actually surprised how well we've been handling everything. And I decided that we should do a video about this to help out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right direction. And I think even during the scary times, if you can build this approach into how you approach life,
beautiful,
it'll have you set for even the good times as well. So I think, the very first one, the first step on how to deal with, scary times and succeed during those times is forget yourself and focus on others. Because when everything started to hit, it's very easy to want to kind of go into your shell and kind of deal with things and kind of draw away.
Feel isolated and feeling helpless. Yeah.
Very much so.
And the way I did this in the beginning was actually focused on you and our son, Charles.
We appreciated that. All right.
Thank you. Did you have anything else to say about number one?
Well, I think it's the positive thing about helping others is that will actually help you feel good, right? I mean, as humans, we have this inherent need to help others and to give. So by doing that and setting yourself aside and focusing on someone else, not only does it distract you from kind of all of those thoughts, but it gives you good vibes from helping other people. So focus on others, not yourself.
Number two.
Forget about your commodity. Focus on your relationships. And this particular one is very, very important to me because that's really how we want to approach things in business and through our networking events and those type of things.
Absolutely.
It's lead with the relationships.
But we've been doing that before all of this.
Right. So it's not so much, our commodity being, helping people with real estate and, being a salesperson. It's not so much being a salesperson. Real estate has come to a grinding halt for a short period of time. And, it's focusing on the relationships.
Hopefully a short period of time.
Yeah.
I was supposed to close on a house today.
Yeah.
Okay, number three. Forget about the sale, which I was just saying.
Right.
Focus on creating value.
It really comes down to, most people don't like being sold to anyway.
No selling. Yeah.
No, it's really not leading with the sale. It's how can you lift somebody up by providing value. It's very tightly linked to number one, right? Focus on others and not yourself.
Right. And with this, is focus on creating value. I really took the time to look within myself and say, okay, what value can I bring to others? So that's a really great question to ask. Again, even when it was not quarantine time, right? Number four.
Forget about your losses. Focus on your opportunities.
Yes.
Right? Just today, the buyers of a house weren't able to go through. That impacted our closing. So our closing didn't happen either. The game has shifted, and it shifted very, very immediately.
Absolutely.
Going back to the old way of doing things may or may not work, and it's something to be aware of. But it's, focus on your opportunities. Look forward to see, the shiny side of the coin.
Yeah. Number 5, forget about your difficulties. Focus on your progress.
Yeah, it's really easy to get to zero in on all the obstacles that are in front of you. The things that you haven't gotten done yet. The things that are like, well, I'm not quite there yet, or I'm not good enough, or those type of thinkings. I haven't got that done yet. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you've done.
On here, they say new difficulties can defeat you or reveal new strengths. This is my favorite part. Your body's muscles always get stronger from working against resistance. The same is true for the muscles in your minds, your spirit, and your character. I love that because it's true. I mean, people say I came from this hard time and I came out stronger, right? I know I've matured a lot through going through crazy crap, I mean, we went through craziness even before quarantine time. So, and seeing how that shaped us and how you're more grateful for things and just you're proving to yourself, I will get through this. I will get through this no matter what.
Right.
Especially if I have you by my side.
Oh, thank you.
Number 6.
Forget about the future. Focus on today. This one's a real big one for me. And
tell me why.
For me personally, I get stuck looking at the past. I look into the past and the woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's been a big obstacle for me personally, because I think I should be someplace else. And if this would have been different,
poison.
And this, and it does, it keeps you in a not so good spot.
You learned that lesson when?
A couple times.
This is what I love what they said about this. The only future that has any reality is the one you continually create for yourself through each day's contributions, achievements, and results. I love that. Why did I love that? Because I love that because you're in control of yourself and what you do and your actions and what you focus on, right?
And the important part is that what you do now will shape the future. You have complete control as far as your future, but it starts here today. And it's not the big stuff. It's not the big things that are going to make the big results happen.
Okay.
It's going to be the small things that will add up over time.
They add up
to
over
achieve
time.
a big result.
Yes.
So the only thing that we have, and I don't want to sound cliche, but it's the here and the now. You have the choice of what to do, and break it down to, okay, what's my 15-minute goals? What can I do in the next 15 minutes that's going to move me closer to where I want to be? Forget about who you were. Focus on who you can be. Because, and this is probably the one for me looking back in the past, I did some dumb shit, made some mistakes, and I can't focus on who I was at the time when I did those things. It's who can I be? I mean, I really look in the mirror and I'm like, well, you can be this, this, and this. So that's a lot of the work, and really adding these type of things up is really look forward to what you can be by taking advantage of the opportunities right here in the present.
Beautiful. I really feel this wine already. What number are we on? 8?
Number 8.
Okay. Forget about events. Focus on your responses. What? Forget about events. Focus on, like the actual event of the, I was thinking like a rock star can't act events. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of events happening right now.
Yeah, I know. It's so different now.
Yeah, we have a virtual networking event tomorrow night where we would normally go to Per Diem and we'd be hanging out with our friends in Lidditz, and we miss you guys. We're not going to see you tomorrow except through the Zoom tube.
I know.
the event is the event. I mean, so Aaron uses the example of a cat walking down the street. Two different people have two different reactions.
You didn't tell him who Aaron is.
So Aaron is the owner of the MindFix group. You can look that up online.
And she's cool. You like her.
Yeah, she's a badass.
I never met her, but
yeah,
you did.
She's an absolute badass.
Very cool.
So two people have two different reactions to a cat walking down the street. Somebody may be scared to death of cats. I mean, it's going to strike fear into them, and they're going to assign a meaning to the cat walking towards them. Or somebody that loves cats may run towards the cat, and they're going to be like filled with completely different emotions. Same event, two different reactions.
I love cats, but I would not run towards that cat.
So it's all about the meaning that you assign to the event and focus on your response. You can either fight or you can flight. That's the key point in all of this, is go towards the positive. Don't shrink away and run towards the negative. So forget about what's missing. Focus on what's available. So right now we're missing the opportunity to connect with people, meet with people, show houses, have open houses, all of these types of things. So what is available? Well, what is available is the opportunity to connect with people in more virtual ways. And since that has been a big component of our business, this now makes it a bit more normal and acceptable for people, when it won't be as much of a surprise when we say, hey, well, let's have an online video conference. What do you mean by that? Now people are going to be a little more accustomed to it. So what is available? We have technology, we have these types of things. So how do you leverage that? How do you make that into a strength rather than a negative if face-to-face has been a key component? Now, can't ignore the fact that if you're a restaurant owner or you're in that service industry, yeah, it's a face-to-face kind of deal. And what is available? You have the opportunity to do something else. And what that is, who knows? And that's playing into your strengths, etc.
Exactly. That's when they have to look inwards and figure out what value they have, what they can do to help support, so on and so forth. All right, number 9, forget about what's missing. Oh, is that what we just talked about? All right, number 10, forget about your complaints. Focus on your gratitude. I'm huge on this. No matter what is going on.
Yeah,
I'm all about being grateful.
Janet's super big on grateful.
Oh my gosh!
Again,
yes.
something that takes work for me. I mean, it takes work for me because I'm looking at, well, this wasn't right or this wasn't right, and let's tweak this, let's make this better. And you know, it's definitely something to say, man, only if. And it's a struggle. That's why I spend time working on that.
That's why we make a good team.
Well, that's why I spend time with it every day as well. You know, is focusing on, you know, how can I get myself centered and make that progress and focus on the here and now. So progress and the actions taking to step forward will help alleviate the complaints, because, you know, you can't be going two directions at the same time.
Grateful journal. Are you a big believer in that?
Not so much. I think it's, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't think...
People swear by it.
I don't think that just merely writing down what you're grateful for day in and day out without having the true heartfelt feeling to it, right?
Yeah.
Words and just going through the motions isn't going to bring it home for you.
Right. There has to be some kind of connection.
You have to have that feeling. You have to truly experience, you know, gratitude. And for me, for the longest time, it was really difficult to do that because I hadn't really felt it from the heart. I mean, it was gratitude from the head. And okay, well, I'm logically supposed to be grateful for the sun is shining, the grass is green, I'm on this side of the grass, and these type of things and start there, but was it really coming from my heart? And that was a big realization for me. And some people it comes a whole lot easier because you're just more in tune with your emotions.
Yeah, like me.
Mm-hmm. Whereas being very logical and very it's not as easy for me.
Right. Yeah.
The key thing is staying connected and focusing on others. And we're going to reach out and check to make sure that you're okay. Because we care.
Yeah.
We'll see you very, very soon. See you.